To all those individuals who may have been misdiagnosed with a mental disorder caused by any past trauma memory, this presentation is for you. Please get your hands on 2 sheets of paper and a pen. On the first sheet of paper, I'd like you to draw an autobiography of who you are today, letting aside the past and the future, basically who you are in this stage today. For example, I am 64-year-old Richard. Both my parents have passed away, my grandparents have passed away, and one of my 5 siblings died of leukemia. I no longer live in Ireland. The family home is sold. One of my siblings lives in England, the rest live in Ireland. I live in Thailand with my wife. We have 2 adult teenage children. I am an author and a trauma recovery therapist and coach. My interests and hobbies are cycling, walking, swimming and golf, and playing chess, reading and writing. And then I have a series of hopes, dreams, aspirations and goals. And that's basically who I am in this moment in time. On the second sheet of paper, I draw a list of the person who suffered the trauma in my past. So since I address myself today as Richard, I address him as Richie. So on the second page I write, young 12-year-old Richie lives at home with his parents, his grandparents are alive, all his siblings are alive, his aunts and uncles are all alive. He's attending school in his local village. He's a child, 12 years of age. His interests and hobbies are fishing, golf, playing rugby, playing sports, cycling. His hopes, dreams and aspirations, and I put them down on the paper. And then I can clearly see that we're 2 different people. I stand here today in front of you, carrying the memory of what happened to that child, and Sympathy Pains for him is a show of support and solidarity for what he went through. But it was that 12-year-old child who suffered the trauma event. That 12-year-old child is the sufferer of the event, not myself. This is the truth that sets us free. When we can separate from the past to know that we only exist in these 24 hours, that the power of now is where our power is, that we are the I am, and what happened in the past is none of our business, none of our concern. We can feel for our younger self, but we can't take their pain on. It's humanly impossible to take on the pain of another, no matter how much we care for them. Even if that younger person is our inner child or our younger self. That's their baggage to carry and to suffer, not ours. So if you are someone who's treatment resistant, who's been in therapy for a number of years or with more than one therapist, chances are you have been misdiagnosed, that you don't actually have a mental disorder. What you suffer with is a sense of hopelessness and inability to fit in as you are, because you're letting the past intrude upon your present. And so this healing event, Healing Any Trauma Memory, which is available on the Amazon platform, takes 2 hours for you to change your life completely. You give the past back to your younger self in a safe and non-intrusive manner. And when you do this 2-hour practice, you experience this release in your body mentally, physically, emotionally and spiritually. A great weight has been lifted off your shoulders, the weight of the world taken from your shoulders, and the weight on your chest that causes anxiety, panic and fear, like a great elephant getting up off your chest and leaving the room. And you're suddenly free to have your life in the present moment. And when you have this shift in your energy, you suddenly realize the past is none of your business. If a therapist asks you about the past, you can simply say, no, what happened in the past didn't happen to me, it happened to my younger self, and I feel for them, but I've let them go. So if you're a veteran, and maybe say you're 51 years of age and your name is Jeffrey, well, on your sheet you put down 51-year-old Jeffrey, then you put in all the details of who you are today. And then on the other sheet you put down young 18 or 19-year-old Jeff, the version of you who enlisted to go off to fight for a cause of liberty. So on the other sheet you'd have young 18-year-old Jeff or young 19-year-old Jeff, and then living with his parents, and you put his autobiography down and compare the differences. Know that he went to war and you're a veteran 10, 20, 30 years later. You're not the same person. He suffered the trauma, not you. She suffered the trauma, not you. You have to understand that you only exist in these 24 hours only. And earlier on I shared a prayer practice whereby you can give all of your past to God at night time, so you can get 8 hours of sleep at night time. So then you only have a 16-hour day to deal with. So if you can combine this healing event on this 12-step program with a 16-hour day, suddenly you have a life beyond your wildest dreams. So the first thing you do is you complete this healing event, which takes approximately 2 hours. And then you buy the 12-step program called Trauma Recovery Anonymous to undo all the learned dysfunctional behavior of your mental disorder misdiagnosis. At the end of those 12 steps, you realize you're no longer ruled or defined by that mental disorder misdiagnosis. Its power has been taken from you. Now, science tells us that if we're going to replace a bad habit, we have to replace a good habit 66 times. So you end up doing these 12 steps 6 times a day for the next 11 days. At the end of this time, you're completely free of the mental disorder misdiagnosis. And you've given the past back to your younger self. And you're a new creation. And you can step back into the present and live a life today in the present. This isn't a difficult solution. It's a very simple solution for complicated people. You're not your past, and neither are you your future. You live in these 24 hours today, and 16 if you can give 8 hours to God at night time. So you have to learn to focus all your attention and intention in the present moment. And this healing practice, healing any trauma memory, and the 12-step program Trauma Recovery Anonymous, I'll have links below, are the way forward. You can work this with your recovery buddies or with your therapist, or if you like, you can contact me directly and I can take you through the process. I'll have an email link below. Thank you very much.